Here's a theory. To me, it's common sense, but I want to share it with you and see what you think. It is psychologically worse if you're in your early 20s in a Norwood 2 than to be in your 30s, 40s, or 50s or beyond and have worse progression. So in theory, it's common sense that I am not psychologically bothered about my hair being Norwood 3. I'm not worried about it because I'm 36 and a half. I don't care. But psychologically, you've got more to lose if you're in your early 20s and you're in Norwood 2. Because here's the thing. I know that I already survived through all of my 20s with a Norwood 2. It wasn't until age 30 that I hit Norwood 3. That's already done. That part of my life, it's already over with. There's no anticipation there. But if you're in your early 20s, you could have 8, 9, 7, 6 more years of thinking, can I hold on to Norwood 2 at least until I'm 30? And of course, by the time you hit 30, then it becomes even less. I mean, sure, I wonder if can I hold on to Norwood 3 until I'm 40? You know, that's the whole thing. And I'm going ahead and saying I'll probably hit Norwood 4 right when I am 40. But even then, psychologically, it doesn't hold as much weight. That little question in my mind, it's a question, it's curiosity, but it doesn't hold the weight that a 20-something is going to have as he's noticed, okay, well, I'm definitely not Norwood 1. I'm not David Schwimmer. You know, I'm not Anthony Bourdain. I'm not Tony Danza. I'm not in Norwood 1. I've already progressed that. I'm in Norwood 2 now. So yeah, there's more to lose as far as your hair goes and psychologically and as part of your identity. You've got more to lose if you're in your early 20s with a Norwood 2. And I just wanted to say that out loud because I think that's important for me to help as your host, just to kind of address that. And when I speak with such confidence about not worrying about losing my hair, yeah, my age has a lot to do with it. Not only have I matured in other ways, but I already know that I at least got to keep this much hair through my 20s, and it wasn't a problem. So I can totally understand why people who are in their early 20s and starting to see a Norwood 2 or worse, that's hitting you a lot harder than it's ever going to hit me. So that also explains too why when these younger guys in their teenage years or early 20s will look at me and say, Nick, just shave it off already. When are you going to shave it off? You know, they're speaking from the mentality of someone who's a teenager or someone in their early 20s who has got a lot to lose themselves. Whereas if they were in my situation, they would shave it off or get a hair transplant or take alopecia. But they're saying that to a 36-and-a-half-year-old. I don't care about that. Do you know how much I care instead about money? I'm unemployed right now. This is week 3. You know, this is always the burden that's over my head to provide for my family. You know, like there's a lot of pressure there. Hair loss, like I said before, I don't have time to worry about hair loss. But also, to be fair, I've already survived through my 20s, and I know that I didn't get worse than a Norwood 3 even by the time I was 30. I mean, granted, I say I'm Norwood 3.65, but either way, you've got more to lose when you're Norwood 2 and in your 20s. And I just want to acknowledge that and let you guys know I understand that's where you're coming from. I was there with you. I lucked out and didn't lose hair beyond a Norwood 2 until my 30th birthday. That's when it all really changed. So I hope this helps. I want you to know I want to relate to you, and I don't want to make it seem like, oh, it's no big deal. You know, you just have to reinvent yourself. Hair doesn't have to be part of your identity. And yeah, that is what I believe. But it's definitely a journey, and it's definitely a process, and it's definitely harder to do if you're in your early 20s. However, those of you who are in your early 20s or mid 20s or even late 20s and have done that, you know how liberating it is to finally be able to reach that point. But it is a matter of accepting that new identity. But I'm going to say it right now, if you're Norwood 2 and in your early 20s, all I can say is just enjoy it while you can. None of us can know when we're going to reach that next Norwood stage. None of us can know. So it's not something we can live our lives worrying about. Again, I get it that you've got more to worry about, but you can't live your life that way. So like I said in another video earlier this week, I'm in Norwood 3 who already sees myself spiritually as a Norwood 4, though I'm physically a Norwood 3. And if nothing else, I'd suggest that. If you're Norwood 2 and in your early 20s, go ahead and imagine yourself having my hairline, having a Norwood 3. I think that might be the best step in helping you progress through this and be prepared for something that might not even happen.